country, we need to reconnect the local system to the satellite network. We should be able to do that at the NOAA headquarters building.
Get to the control room. I can walk you through the process from there. The control room is at the top of the atrium.
Back. You got mine. Jupiter, you there?
I did for him because he wanted to watch it. Don't come over here and bother him.
Even my room.
He got it himself.
What is he
Whatever
doing
it takes, Agent. We
Oh.
can't let her leave with those EMPs.
An agent needs assistance. Agent down.
Allah! Don't go in the trash. Get over here and lay down. Lay down.
Capturing Roosevelt Island is only the first step. Don't let the division get in the way of that. We won't let them. We can't. By fire, our enemies will die. With fire, we will save DC. And out of the ashes, a new America will rise, free from disease.
What's going on YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 build video. Now we all know that this week is the start of the Hill League. And it is a 2-week long league. And it's actually the last league event within Season 1. So this build surrounds everything about this Hill League. Reason being is one of the things you have to do is get skill kills. You can see that I've already maxed out on that and most of these missions. I haven't really gone for headshots because I've been focused, and this build is completely focused around getting your skill kills as fast as possible. Knock that out and then you can go for headshot kills later. Or you don't even have to do headshot kills, just wait till next week. As long as you have at least 30 stages completed, you can wait until next week. It'll all reset, get those same 30 stages again, and you'll be maxed out. So you don't have to do what I do, but I'm just showing you how I do it. So yeah, with all that said and done, let's get into my skill kills build, or shade skill kills build. I don't know, my skill kills build. Jeez. Alright, let's get into this. So this is revolved completely around having my skills nearly 100% of the time, and if I don't, I make sure that I get them back as fast as possible. So what I did is I stacked skill haste on skill haste on skill haste on skill haste. Reason being is that 9 times out of 10 I have my skills back immediately, if not on overcharge, and for those rare occasions, either you're spawn camping the NPCs, or a mob or a big wave of NPCs come at you, maybe your skills deploy too fast. Because if your skills all deploy too fast and explode or whatever, you can't utilize the hardwired. You have to actually take your time, let the skill do its thing, or destroy it real quick before it deploys everything, because if it does that, it's on skill cooldown. So I hope that helps explain it. It's for those rare occasions where you use your skills too fast and you have to wait for them to come back, and that's why I went with all skill haste. That way I could have my skills back as fast as possible and just focus on getting my skill kills. Alright, so I've let you look at the build while I tried to explain it and best my ability. So now it's time for me to explain the build itself. Starting out at the top, I am using the Technician specialization. Reason being is you get the 10% skill damage from that specialization just off the rip. So right there I've already got 10% skill damage. Another thing that's cool is you don't have to run all yellows. You could run maybe one blue or one red, because remember that that technician gives you one skill tier as it is. So I'm not utilizing that part. The part I'm utilizing is the skill damage part. Alright, now that's the specialization. Go down to the weapons. I am using the Surge as my primary weapon. Reason being is the talent. It comes with perfect spike. Headshots grant me 25% skill damage for 8 seconds. You don't have to kill the enemy. All you have to do is hit them in the head, and all of a sudden you have that skill damage. So I'm combining that with my overcharge that I get from my gloves and from the skill damage off of my specialization. So I'm just stacking skill damage that way and then utilizing the rest of it for skill haste, because I want my skills all the time, and if not, I want them back as fast as possible. So this rifle, this is the Surge. It is named LVOAC rifle. Total damage 125.1k, and that is with 15% rifle damage, 13% crit damage, and 9% headshot damage. The mods I went for here are all stability and accuracy based. So the small RDS scope for stability, vertical grip for accuracy, and the compensator for more stability. That way this thing doesn't move. I hit them in the head, I get my skill damage, and then I deploy my skills. It's as simple as that. Now the magazine, I have the sturdy extended mag to bump my magazine size up to that 50 round mag. Now my secondary is the Eagle Bearer. Reason being is it's a great PvE weapon. It really is. It helps destroy those flame turret boxes really quick, helps destroy those EMPs really quick, and if I already have the perfect spike activated, I could switch to this Eagle Bearer and help destroy the NPCs faster if, you know, I'm waiting on my skills. Now this one, total damage 67.1k. That's with 15% assault rifle damage, 19.5 health damage, and 9% headshot damage. Going to the sidearm, I have the backup boomstick. No real rhyme or reason. I just like having the double barrel sawed off because it does a lot of damage in a short amount of time. And if those elites are rushing you or anything of the sort, you could whip this bad boy out, get 2 shots off, they'll stagger, and you'll probably kill them all at once. It's pretty nice. Now this one, total damage 781.9k. That's with 16% shotgun damage, 12% damage to armor, and 9% damage to targets out of cover. This thing does work. Alright, so those are your weapons. Now looking over the build, I will go ahead and explain 3 different ways to run this build. This is the first way. This is all skill haste. I'm doing that even with my holster, which is a Hana U Corporation holster. It gives me more skill haste. Now the other 2 ways to run it, you could either go skill damage with Wyvern Wear, or you could go China Light for explosive damage. However, if you do that, you have to remember how to run it. So if you are running China Light, that is explosive damage, i.e. you need to be running the explosive seeker mine, you need to be running the mortar turret, you need to be running something that actually explodes. So no running the Hive or any of that. Not with China Light. Now with Wyvern Wear, you get the skill damage. If you do it that way, you can run any skill you want and you can just focus on damage. That's a great way to run this because Hardwired does get your cooldowns back pretty much immediately, and it helps out a lot. And more times than not, you have your skills back to back to back to back. Now, the reason I am using this method is for the skill Haste. What I'm doing is I'm making sure that in those, make it or break it times, and you don't have your skills right there, I want them to get back really quick. So I believe it's 134% skill haste. Let's see. Okay, 132.4% skill haste. So I get my skills back really quick. My Hive, I get each charge back under 2 seconds. My Seeker Mines, I get back in 21 seconds. But obviously with Hardwired and all that, it's a lot quicker. But those are the 3 ways you could run it. You could run Hannah U for the skill haste, you could run Wyvernware for the skill damage, or you could run China Light for the explosive damage. I would just say that the China Light, it kind of restricts your skills. You can't use whatever you want. And the Wyvernware, that does work very well. You're just not going to get your skills back as fast. That's all. So it's up to you guys. All right. So with that, out of the way, let's show you exactly how I run it. I do 4-piece hardwired. I run the hardwired chest and backpack. I combine that with the BTSU gloves to get my overcharge. I'll show you exactly how I do that. And then I run the Hannah U Corporation holster for more skill haste. Now the 2 skills I run, Cluster Seeker Mines and the Stinger Hive. I already showed you guys gameplay of it, and it wrecks. I'm telling you, I'm getting my Cluster Seekers to hit those elite NPCs for 22 million a Seeker Mine. It is ridiculous. Obviously, that's with the overcharge, but still, I get overcharge a lot. I'm telling you. All right, so back to the build. So I'm running 4 pieces of hardwired. So let's go over the gear set bonuses. Running 2 pieces, I get 15% skill haste. Running 3 pieces, I get skill damage and repair skills. And then with the 4 piece, I get the feedback loop. Whenever you use or cancel a skill, your other skill is automatically refreshed, and it increases the skill damage and repair by 10% for 20 seconds. This can only occur once every 20 seconds. So you can already see right there, there's a stipulation, only once every 20 seconds. So with that, I combine it with the BTSU gloves. Now the BTSU gloves, you have that talent transference overclock. Detonating a Hive refreshes all ally skill cooldowns and grants them overcharge for 15 seconds. That includes you. You get overcharge as well. Allies receiving this effect are unable to benefit from it for another, 2 minutes. Now, that's your allies receiving this effect every 2 minutes. So you'll actually see the little clock on there, and that's how you saw in my gameplay earlier that when I hit that overcharge, you could see my Hive coming back so quick. I think I got my 18 charges in 4 seconds or so. It was insane how fast I was getting it. And that's how I'm doing it with this overcharge. So I hit overcharge with my with my Hive. I throw out my clusters, which hit for around 20 to 22 million each with the overcharge. While my Seekers are going out to hit them, I'll get my 18 charges back from my Stinger Hive. That way, by the time the Seekers explode, I can throw out my Hive, and once I throw out my Hive and it touches the ground, that hardwired procs, and then I get my Seekers back immediately. So there's a lot of times where I'll show you in the gameplay where I'll have Seekers, Hive, Seekers, Hive, Seekers, and it's just non-stop. It's really cool. I really enjoy this build. So those are the gear set bonuses and the exotic talent that I am using. Now for the chest piece, you know that it comes with a talent that amplifies the gear set bonus. So the chest piece gives you positive reinforcement. it increases your feedback loop, skill damage, and repair from 10 to 25%. So when I get my hardwired to proc, I get 25% skill damage there. I get 10% from my technician. I get skill damage from my BTSU gloves. I also get skill damage, just about everywhere. Now, going to the backpack, you also get a talent that amplifies your gear set bonus. This one is called Short Circuit. It decreases the feedback loop cooldown from 20 seconds to 10 seconds. So I do have a window there, it's 10 seconds, where I might not get my skills back immediately. So if all my skills deploy within that 10 seconds and they both go on cooldown, then I'm not going to be able to utilize this. That way I run all that skill haste so that in that time, if I were to do that, I get them back pretty quick. I hope that helped explain it. Alright, so let's get into each individual piece. Starting with the mask, hardwired mask. Skill tier, obviously. I rolled on their skill haste at 11.6%. And then it has a yellow mod, so I put on there 11.1% more skill haste. Going to the backpack, again, skill tier. I rolled on there 12% skill haste, and it has 11.2 skill haste from the yellow mod. The gloves, I have skill tier, and then skill haste at 9.2%, and then also it comes with repair skills at 14.3. We don't really care about that though. Chest piece, again, skill tier and skill haste, 12%, and then another yellow mod, so more skill haste at 10.7%. Go down to the holster. This is the Hana U Corporation holster. The Hana U brand set bonus gives me 10% skill haste. I have skill haste as an attribute at 11.4%, and then I rolled on their skill damage at 10%. And then finally the hardwired knee pads, skill tier again, and then I rolled maxed out 12% skill haste. So you can see there's a lot of skill haste and skill damage going out throughout this build. Going to the stats. Weapon stats, this is for the Surge. 125,051 weapon damage. I only have 5% crit chance and 38 crit damage. 69 headshot damage. Go down to the offensive tab. I only have 10% weapon damage bonus and 30% rifle damage bonus. So 40% damage bonus total. Go down to the defensive tab. 10,175 armor with 281,190 health. I have pulse resistance just like everyone and their mom, and hazard protection at 7.4%. That's because of my watch. Alright, now here is where the fun begins. Now, my cluster seeker mine, I have skill tier 6 with 132.4% skill haste, cooldown of 21.5. The damage, just on paper, 1.7 million. And then the number of mines, it starts out with 10. So I have 10 cluster seeker mines starting out before the overcharge. Go to the Hive. Hive, again, skill tier 6, 132.4 skill haste with a 1.9 second refill speed. Now that's when I'm not getting that overcharge, and that's also when I'm not proccing my feedback loop from hardwired. I have 18 charges, like I said, and the damage on those 761,000 per charge. Now, where it gets interesting is I can show you the overcharge, because I use overcharge a lot with this build. So the overcharge seekers, I get 80% damage, 8 cluster mines on top, and 100% radius. So from the tier 6 to the overcharge, I'm getting an additional 20% damage, 2 cluster mines, and 100% radius. So this thing will not only hurt the one enemy, but it'll hurt another enemy next to it. Now for the Stinger Hive, this is how I get my Stinger Hive back so quick. It's awesome when you see it in that gameplay. So with Overcharge, I get the 100% damage, range, 420% health, but then I get 300% skill haste. So add that with my 132% skill haste, and that's how I'm getting those hive charges back instantly. It's amazing seeing how quick you can get 18 charges with this build. Now from the tier 6 to the Overcharge, nothing changes for the charges, but I get 40% more damage, 70% more range, and then that 300% skill haste. It's amazing. But alright you guys, that is the build I am using. This is my skill haste, skill damage build. This is how I get my skill kills so fast in the Hill League. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just a recap, you can use this in different ways. You could switch the holster out for Wyvern Wear for skill damage, or to the China Light for explosive damage. But remember, make sure your skills reflect what you are using. I am using the Hana U Corporation holster for the skill haste, and I love exactly the way it is. I wouldn't change a thing. But yeah, that's it you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit that like, subscribe to the channel, Kamikazevondoom, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.